Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cameron. So in this video I'm gonna do another breakdown of another black love movie. So today's movie we're going to be doing Love and Basketball, another black classic romance movie. So like basically my last video was me doing a breakdown of The Best Man and the unhealthy dynamics in the relationships in that movie, and so I'm going to do the same thing again. So basically I'm just going to focus mainly on Monica and Quincy's relationship because they're the central relationship in the movie. And again, disclaimer, I love this movie. I think again, classic black love movie. But is it really? Because the portrayal of the black love between Monica and Quincy is just lackluster at best. Not goals, and it's not the best portrayal of what black love really is in real life, I wouldn't say. So again, before we get into the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So basically I think that Monica and Quincy, the beginning, middle part of the relationship is just completely not a healthy dynamic. Let's start off when they were kids, when they first met. And so Quincy was kind of like the new kid on the block. He was moving into their neighborhood, and Monica and Quincy's families were neighbors. So Quincy's a basketball player, he loves to play basketball, and so does Monica. And so Monica joins in on their basketball game. I think Monica beats them. Quincy, pissed, immediately gets pissed off. He starts fighting her, and that's how she gets the scar on the side of her face, because he was fighting her. And I know people are gonna say, oh, they're kids fight, but the fact that Quincy as a boy felt comfortable enough to lay hands on a girl shows that he wasn't raised right, shows that he's extremely immature. And I know, again, kids, I know, so you can only expect so much maturity. It's one thing if he did that with another boy, but she was a girl. I think he thought that she was a boy at first. I remember that. He thought that she was a boy at first, but he knew by the time he laid hands on her, he knew that she was a girl. Still no excuse though, whether she was a boy or a girl. You shouldn't be laying hands on people, especially since she's a girl and she was his next door neighbor. Have some respect. And it shows that Quincy just doesn't have any manners. I mean, he's just disrespectful. The first interaction that they have with each other is them fighting. Like, that just basically set the tone for their entire relationship in the movie. Like, it really does. Would you want to date someone like that who wasn't raised right, doesn't have any manners, and thinks it's okay to lay hands on a girl? And I know, again, they're kids, so I'm gonna cut them some slack because I know people are gonna get on that. Like, they were kids, okay. I digress. So then they transition into their teen years when Quincy and Monica are both in high school, and Quincy just was not checking for Monica at all. He wasn't thinking about her. He strictly just saw her as next door neighbor. I don't even think they were friends for real. Like, he would give her rides home to and from school, but I don't think they were friends, like legitimate friends. And I think that Monica had like a little bitty itty crush on Quincy, but of course she would never tell him that because she had too much pride. And I think she knew that he wasn't thinking about her like that. Quincy was a player. He was like big guy on campus. He was like the star of the basketball team. All the girls wanted him, and so she knew that. So she of course was never going to tell him that she liked him. I think it was clear that Monica always had some underlying feelings for Quincy, some unexpressed, unrequited feelings for him. I think that was pretty clear. And then the day of the dance comes, and they go to the dance, and Monica gets all dolled up. She looks really pretty, and then finally Quincy like opens his eyes and he like notices her for the very first time, and he's like checking her out, and they're like making eyes at each other during the dance, like, oh, you look good, oh, you look good, oh, you think I look good, you look good too, like stuff like that. And then after the dance she kisses him out the blue because I guess she's shooting her shot. Like, this is her moment. They were making eyes at each other, so I guess she thought, okay, this is my time, I gotta express these feelings or else I'm never gonna get my opportunity. She kisses him, and then he's just like, well, okay, I guess we're doing this, all right. And then they like spend the night with each other for the first time, and then I guess they're a couple now. They're a couple, they're official. And then it transitions into their college days. And I just feel like that is just, they never like, there's no build up. They never led up to it. They just did it, you know, and there was no talking about it beforehand. And I know they're teenagers. That happens a lot with teenagers. They just go for it without talking about it first. But yeah. And so they go to college, they go to the same college, and everything's good, everything's fine and dandy. They're in a relationship, and it seems like everything's going good between them. And so when they get to college, Quincy's experience with playing basketball is completely different from what it was in high school. In high school, he was, you know, the star of the team. Everybody, you know, knew Quincy was. He was just killing it. He got an ego boost from that. But then when he got to college and he got with people that were on his level, people that were just as good as him, if not better, he got humbled really quick. And so his experience was completely different, and he didn't know how to handle that. And so one day, he has a bad day at practice, and he wants to talk to Monica about it. He wants to talk to his girlfriend, which is, I think, is a good thing. So instead of bottling up his feelings, he wanted to talk to her about about it. I like that part. But Monica couldn't talk because she also was on the basketball team and she had a curfew. And if she missed curfew, then she couldn't play in the next game. So Monica tells Quincy that, and Quincy, instead of being understanding, he gets upset. He gets irritated. He does not like that. I think he feels neglected, and he feels like, I think he feels let down, that he wanted to express himself to her and spend time with her, and I guess he felt shut down. But what did he want her to do? She had a curfew. Did he want her to break curfew to be with him, and then she wouldn't be able to play in the next game? They both are basketball players. You would think if no one else understood that, he would, because they're both basketball players. Like, he would miss curfew to hang out with her. But no, it's different for boys though. He probably would have got some slack, because if you're an athlete in college, you get cut a lot of slack. She wouldn't have been cut any slack, especially not by her coach, who didn't really have like her. I didn't like that he was refusing to see where she was coming from, and he just felt so slighted, and he just did not get it. He did not understand why she couldn't stay with him. She could not miss curfew. And so Quincy is just pissed off. He's upset. In retaliation, he takes another girl to Burger King. He takes another girl on a date, knowing full well that he has a girlfriend. And who knows what else he did with her. Like, he said he took her to Burger King, but who knows what he did, because again, he's Quincy, like, he's a player. Who knows what else they did. He claims it was just Burger King, but who knows. And so basically, he just has complete disregard for Monica's feelings, and he just like embraces this random girl right in front of Monica, and he's just like trying to get back at her and trying to be like, haha, like, I don't need you because you left me high and dry when I needed you. This to me just portrays like a complete lack of respect that Quincy has for Monica, and complete immaturity. When Monica confronts him about it, tries to act like it's no big deal, or like she did it to herself, or she deserved it because I guess she left him high and dry when he needed her the most. He's basically just like, well, you weren't there for me, so I found someone who was. He tries to justify his actions and tries to justify his immaturity. Quincy's like the epitome of immaturity. He's the poster child for immature. Like, he doesn't handle anything like an adult at all. And again, I know they were like 18, but still, just because you're a teenager doesn't mean you have to be immature. Instead of communicating with her and telling her that he was hurt and that he felt neglected, he decides to just basically cheat. I mean, a loose cheat, but still cheat and be disrespectful and disrespect their relationship. And he just retaliates and gets angry with her. He doesn't communicate that with her, and he just immature. And it goes right back to when they were kids. Like, when he gets angry, when he gets frustrated, when he gets irritated, he retaliates. Instead of talking about it, he retaliates, either with physical violence, or he does something that's below the belt. He does something that he knows is gonna hurt, instead of just talking to you about it and expressing himself. Basically, the basketball incident when they were kids is basically foreshadowing for, again, the trajectory of their relationship, or the dynamic of their relationship. Because Quincy, again, at his core, he's immature. You can't even really blame him for real, because you can see that dynamic in his parents, because his dad was an NBA player, constantly cheating on his mom, and their dynamic is unhealthy. So obviously he's gonna carry that into his relationships in his life, because his parents obviously have a lack of communication going on between them. He obviously has a lack of communication with Monica. The root of it is his parents and their dynamic, and because his basketball career wasn't turning out the way he wanted it to, and that was taking like such a toll on him, because basketball is basically his life. That's the career path that he's wanting to pursue, and that's like his dream. His college basketball career is turning out nothing the way he expected it, and he feels hurt. But instead of telling her that, he just breaks up with her without a real explanation. He just breaks up with her when she doesn't give him what he wants. And that's really the big thing with all of these couples and all of these movies that I've talked about: lack of communication. Like, so many problems could be solved, and so many problems could be non-existent if you guys would just communicate with each other. Quincy and Monica do not communicate with each other. Like, at least Monica was trying to talk to him. She was trying to get to the root of the problem. He just shut it down. Like, he wasn't having it. He was like, nope, I tried to talk to you, and when I tried to talk to you, you wasn't having it, so I'm done talking to you, and I'm just gonna break up with you. Like a child. He's a child. No communication, cheating, lack of trust, lack of honesty. Ridiculous. Like, the communication is seriously lacking in their relationship, and that's why they have so many problems. And like, Quincy is still very much a child, and then again, when you look at their parents' dynamic, you can see why, because his parents never portrayed an accurate representation of what a healthy relationship looks like. So Quincy's basically lost as to how to accurately navigate through a relationship in the most healthy and productive way, because he never saw that. And I feel like the thing with Quincy is that he's very selfish and very self-serving. If you don't give him something when he wants it, at the time that he wants it, how he wants it, he gets upset, he gets angry, and he retaliates in the most immature way possible. And that's why the relationship is unhealthy to me. He's really just worried about himself, what's going on in his life, and not really what's going on with Monica. Like, he doesn't even ask her like what's going on with her. He's just worried about him having a bad day and her comforting him, and he's not even worried about him trying to comfort her. Not at all. Just worry about himself. What can she do for him? What can she provide for him? What she doesn't provide for him, what he wants her to. He just ups and leaves like a child. And then so they break up, and then Quincy gets hurt in a basketball game. His basketball career is pretty much over after that, and no one cares, and he gets with someone else. And then Monica goes on to be this super successful basketball player overseas. She realizes that she wants him back for whatever reason, even though he pretty much dogged her out the entire relationship. And then when Quincy's all dried up, no one cares about him, basketball career is over, that's when he wants her back. But had he had been, you know, the hot shot again, the basketball player who was the big guy on campus, he probably wouldn't have been thinking about her. She might have been a thought in the back of his head, but he probably would have been out here sleeping around, not even thinking about Monica. But then, like, he's hurt, he can't play basketball again, no one cares anymore, his career is over. Now he's thinking like, wow, like, I need someone to take care of me. I want someone to like spend my life with, because basketball is over. And so now that's when he decides that he wants to be with her again. Monica was basically like his backup choice. Like, when it was all over and done for him, that's when he wanted her again. And like, her star was rising and she was, you know, being super successful. He was like, okay, I need to get on that train, so I need to be with her again. But in Love and Basketball with Monica and Quincy, it's just not okay to praise their relationship as something that's supposed to be an accurate portrayal of what Black love is supposed to look like, because I think their relationship and their dynamic was super unhealthy and toxic. It's just, again, I just didn't like the way that he treated her before he broke up with her, and I don't even think he really apologized for it. She just wanted him back because she always had a crush on him and she always wanted to be with him. I just think he disrespected her and she got away with it, and she just put up with it because she liked him so much. But again, it's a classic movie, I understand that. It's a great movie. I'm not bashing the movie at all, but it's just not, again, not an accurate representation of what Black love looks like. The real problems in Quincy and Monica's relationship is lack of communication and disrespect. Really, mostly on Quincy's part, because Monica tried. She wasn't perfect. I'm not saying Monica was perfect at all, but she tried to like talk to him and like help him, but he was just shutting her down, and I didn't like that. This relationship should not be praised, it should not be idolized. It's just not, it's not a good relationship at all. Okay, that's it. That's the end of my video. That's me breaking down the relationship of Monica and Quincy from Love and Basketball. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to tell me down below what your thoughts are on Monica and Quincy's relationship in the movie. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, why you liked it, why you didn't like it. Make sure to tell me down below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video. Make sure to turn on post notifications so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.